All right, so we have been working feverishly to get this garden done. I've been working on these beds here. I got 18 of them done. I think that's about it. Well, we're gonna have 18 beds with the concrete blocks around them. That's a lot of work, man. You know, when I thought about doing it, I was like, yeah, it won't rot, you know, it'll hold up until I die anyways. And but you don't realize how heavy those things are, and leveling them all out and getting the ground level, and it's rough, especially at my age. If you're not used to doing it. But anyways, I got those done. All I'm doing now here is making regular in-ground beds. No borders really. I might put some of that plastic, what do they call this stuff? Lawn edging type border around there, but we'll see. But it's basically just an in-ground bed. And we're going to be planting here zucchini. And on this bed here, probably crookneck squash. I love crookneck squash. Oh, love it. But anyways, so we have a few things planted. Let me show you some of the stuff that we've been doing here, and some of the trellises I've been building, and I'll keep you up to date. All right, guys, so let me show you what we've been doing here. Let me show you the beds in the rows. All right, so we have here, like I said, 18 beds, and we have most of them planted already. And the ones that are sprouted out, these are, this is called a broccoli rabe, or rapini in Italian. And they're a leafy green, delicious, sauteed and cooked down and with some garlic in a pan. It's just out of this world. So we got some greens going here. We got, we just planted peppers and some tomatoes and stuff. Eggplants and all that stuff, but they haven't germinated yet. Also, as you can see here, we're putting down the weed barrier. I didn't want to cut grass here. I may occasionally have to pull a few out like this over here, but that's not a big deal. I can do that with the weed eater. I just didn't want to come in here with my push mower and have to do all the rows and then weed eat all the way around the beds. You know, it's just enough. It's enough work pulling the weeds out of the beds, let alone cutting the grass all around it. So, and you can see, as you can see, the orchard now is in between, or the trees are in between the beds. And I know you're thinking, okay, well, what happens when the trees get bigger and the shade and all that stuff? Well, here in East Texas in the summer, when it's 102 outside, 104, you know, that shade is very welcome to these vegetables. So that is an extra added bonus, having shade here, because it is so dry here in the summertime. So that's what we've been doing. We have yet to do these rows, of course, and all of them actually, all the way down with the weed barrier. These are my garlic and my onions, and they're rocking and rolling. So anyways, weed barrier up to about here, maybe here. And here we have our tomato trellises. We got some San Marzanos here. We just a couple, like 4 different varieties we planted. So these 4 here are tomato trellises. Then we have here, we're gonna have our cucumbers here on these 2 trellises here. And then this bad boy here is going to be my Italian squash, the cucuzza, it's called. They also call it a snake gourd, but it is a gourd, and they're very long, probably about the size of your arm in length. And but they're very viney, of course. They'll crawl up here, and they'll hang off the sides, and the ones off of here will hang down here. Easier to grow and pick that way. They're real fun to grow, real easy to grow, and very delicious too. So that's what we're basically doing. And over here, of course, I'm working on these 2 beds that I showed you earlier. We're going to be planting, like I said, zucchinis here, and then crookneck squash over here. I'm gonna try and cram in, this is, I think it's roughly 5 feet across. I'm gonna try and cram in 3 plants. I don't know, maybe 1.5 feet apart or so. We'll see. So yeah, that was my big concern, is getting this garden going, because we're already in March. This is the end of March actually, and spring has started, and with all the frost, the scare of getting frost is over with. That was over mid-March. So the nights are only in the upper 40s, 50s maybe right now, the nights, and during the days it's about mid-low 70s average. So yeah, I've been busy. And those chickens have been keeping me busy too. But anyway, that's what we've been doing here. Now on this side here, we are going to be putting more beds also. Hey, you see my fig tree here is doing pretty good. Starting to sprout. We had some cold weather. It got down into the 20s, and you can see this part here. And it's pretty much dead. It's dead, but it's sprouting again. That's the thing about here in East Texas. The winter times, the figs, they just don't like temperatures in the 20s for very long, because it will start killing them off. Like this one right here. This fig tree is dead. This one was doing really good last year, but they just couldn't handle that cold. You can see it's dead. So it'll probably sprout from the bottom, but I think I'm just going to pull it out. And I have a Texas Blue Giant I'm going to be planting in here. So I've been so busy with the garden, and I've been neglecting my fruit trees. You can see this thing is sprouting suckers everywhere. So I got to clean this thing all up. I got to prune it. I got to take everything off this trunk all the way up to about here, and just leave these going. Take all this off here. So yeah, I got a lot of work to do here. Same thing here. All these branches are got to go. All of these got to go to about here. Anyways, so yeah, busy, busy, busy. All right, so let me walk you along here. We got more rapinis here. Here we got some Swiss chard popping up. These were older seeds, I think, from the previous year. We tried it out. We're gonna see, we wanted to see how they grew, and obviously some did and some didn't. So we replanted again with newer seeds. Over here, these were the newer seeds, and you can tell the difference here. Big difference. This is Swiss chard here also. What I can't wait for? We make this pasta dish. I'm Italian, so I make this pasta dish. My wife does, actually. I taught her. But anyway, we make this pasta dish that we use the Italian squash, the guguzza, onions, garlic. You chop them up in big chunks, tomatoes, and some olive oil in a pan, or a pot actually, and turn it on and let it all cook down with its own water. It'll all cook down, and it turns into like this stew. When you got like the last, I don't know, 10-12 minutes, you throw in some Swiss chard in there. Just break up a bunch of Swiss chard, and you throw it in there, and that all cooks down too now, because everything's all soupy in there. It turns into a soupy stew. You pour that on top of some organic einkorn pasta. I got a video about eating regular wheat here that's you should stay away from. I'm gonna put that right up here, okay? But anyways, when you mix those all together, it's just so delicious. And you know that feeling you get when you prepare a dish and the majority of the ingredients in that dish is from your own garden? That feeling you get, it's like, ah, this is wonderful. That's the kind of feeling I can't wait to get. So hopefully this summer, I'm gonna make a recipe, or I'll give you the recipe, and I'll show you me making that pasta dish. And there's another pasta dish with rapini. The other, those little sprouts I showed you over there in that bed, the little leafy greens. I'll make a dish of that too, and it's just out of this world. But anyways, yeah, that feeling you get when you grow your own food, and it's so satisfying, you know, and it's so satisfying nutritionally too, because you know that all those leafy greens, those tomatoes, and those onions and garlic and all that stuff is just nutrient dense, because it's not grown in farms where it's mass produced, where it's grown in dead soil, where they have to constantly put NPK in there, nitrogen and all that stuff, just to get it to grow and look pretty, but it's void of real nutrition. So yeah, so that's it, guys. That's my plan here, to eat healthy as possible. Grow your own food. You know, even if you live in the suburbs, you don't have to live out in the country to grow your own food. You know that. Start a garden, no matter what. If you got just a little piece of property there, you know, just turn over some dirt and start planting. It's so satisfying too, you know. It's a lot of work, but it's well worth it. So that's what we're trying to accomplish here. Alright guys, I guess that's about it for the garden update. Wish I can show you vlog. I wish I can show you everything growing nice and green, and all kinds of peppers and eggplants and stuff growing, but we're still early here. Hopefully in another month or two things will really start going here. So I basically been adding, if you haven't watched my earlier videos, I've been putting down layer of manure. I'm using horse manure. It's composted. The guy I get them from, he told me he gets them from this lady that raises these thoroughbred horses. They're very expensive horses, and she feeds them only the best grasses. So this is some good stuff here. The darker stuff you see on top is composted wood chips that he gets me also. So I've been basically putting down manure, compost, and then leveling out nice and even. Then I get my shovel and I dig into the dirt that I have here, which is reddish high iron clay. But I mix in that dirt with the manure and the compost, flip that all over, and then I get my tiller and till it all up, mix it really good, and then I'm ready to plant. Now I'll be just tilling once because I have to get organic matter into my soil, because my soil is, like I said, is bad. Once I get this organic matter all mixed in real good, I shouldn't have to till anymore. Also, I'm adding minerals. I had my soil tested. I'll put a link to that, whoops, up here. And yeah, so I'm putting in minerals, and also I have some fertilizer. It's natural fertilizer. It's like fish emulsion and some other stuff. I got to read up on it. He gave me, he sent it to me too, that my soil's going to need. I'll do a video about that stuff later. But it's very important that you get some organic material into your dirt if you don't have perfect soil to begin with, which most of us don't. And that's very important to get the organic matter. That'll get the bacteria growing, and the bacteria will feed. They have a symbiotic relationship with the plant roots, and they exchange nutrition basically. and they help each other out, just like our gut bacteria does. Got to keep those healthy. And I guess that's about it, guys. I will keep you up to date on, you know, whatever else I'm doing in here. Once things get growing, I'll give you some more updates. And yeah, we'll do that. All right, guys, I appreciate you watching. Please like, subscribe, and share. And when you subscribe, hit the notification bell, and you will be alerted to a new video that I put out. All right? So, again, thanks for watching, and I will see you guys in the next video.